Hello, Chestatee families, and welcome to the Facebook Friday Show. This is a very special Facebook Friday edition with Dr. Jeff Bearden. Hi, Dr. Bearden.
Hi, Meg. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Super excited. As you know, Dr. Bearden is retiring. And so we wanted one final interview to hear more about his plans. So first off, thank you for being here. Tell the folks out there a little bit about your journey to being superintendent.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I started my career in education up in northern Maine, actually. I was in the Air Force for 4 years and then decided I wanted to be a teacher. So after my tour of duty, I stayed in northern Maine and began my teaching career, 7th grade, language arts, first job. Did that for a period of time. And then I had a superintendent, and I'll forever be grateful to him, who encouraged me to go back to school and get my leadership degree. Because at the time, I wasn't even considering that. I was teaching, I was coaching basketball, and I loved doing both of those things, had a real passion for both of those things. But he saw something in me and encouraged me. And so I did go back to school, got my leadership degree, was a building level administrator and assistant superintendent. I had 2 superintendencies in Maine, one up in northern Maine, right on the Canadian border. Now get this, guys. My first superintendent's job, 330 students total, K through 12. Total, 330. First graduating class, about 20 kids. And so to go from that as my first superintendent's job, now 10 years in Forsyth County, 55,500 kids on 43 campuses. I look back and think, wow, what a journey. You know, that is a lot of change over the years. So 34 years in public education, 19 of those as a superintendent, and without question, my favorite stop of all time has been my 10 years here in Forsyth County. I have loved serving in this community. I'm proud of our school system. I'm proud of our community. We've done a lot of good work over the years, and I know that good work is going to continue, and I'm excited about that too.
We are too. How about, so speaking about the good work continuing, what advice would you give to Mr. Young, who will be taking over as superintendent?
It's funny you ask that, because I have given him some advice already, trust me.
I believe it.
Couple things about Mr. Young, and then I'll answer your question. Number one, I've worked with Mitch for 10 years, so I know him well. When I started here, he was the principal at Forsyth Central High School. In fact, his first year as principal was my first year as superintendent. And at the time, I was looking at some of our data, and Forsyth Central High School had a graduation rate of about 83%. At the time, we only had 5 high schools. The other 4 high schools had graduation rates of 90% or higher. So I said to Mitch, what are you going to do about that? Because that's a significant gap. And he said, give me some time. I will work with my community. We'll move the needle on that. And boy, did he. His last year at Forsyth Central High School, they had a graduation rate of 95%. So think about that for a second. 83% in year 1. His final year, 7th year, 95%. How does that happen? That happens because you have a leader who's very intentional about making sure kids have the support and resources they need to graduate from high school. And so he is a brilliant instructional leader, but on top of that, he is a relational leader, which I really admire and respect. He listens, he will be visible, he will be approachable, he will be in our schools, he will meet with parents, he will meet with business leaders. He doesn't come into this thinking he has all the answers. He knows that working together as a team, that homeschool community connection, will be pivotal to not only his success, but the continued success of our school system and our community. He is going to do a fantastic job. So back to your question about advice, the same advice I would give anybody in a leadership position: you have to be a good listener. You have to be a good listener. Stephen Covey, one of my favorite books, probably my favorite leadership book, is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in his book, Covey said, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. I think the most effective leaders listen to understand before they try to make decisions in order to be understood. And I think when you do that, you have the best opportunity to garner the respect of others. Because people in general will respect you as long as they feel like you heard them. They feel valued, they feel respected. They typically will be okay with your decision, even if you have to agree to disagree, if they feel like they were heard. You have to listen first.
That's great. That is great advice from Mr. Young, and we're excited to see him around. We've seen him a good bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we're excited. So what makes you most proud of Forsyth County?
You know, I could sit here and talk about a lot of academic stuff. I could talk about graduation rates and SAT scores and ACT scores and Georgia milestones, and all that data is important. But what gives me the most pride are the relationships we have in our school system and our community. I used the words earlier, homeschool community partnership, and I don't just say that. That is the secret sauce to our success. I am so proud to live and work in a community where parents are appropriately engaged, where the community invests in public schools, believes in public schools. Our community provides us lots of resources, lots of support. Yes, they have high expectations, but I'm okay with that because we're given a lot of resources and support to meet those expectations. I'm just proud of the homeschool community connection. When I arrived here 10 years ago, we were serving about 40,000 kids. Today we serve 55,500. So we've added 15,000 kids in 10 years. And when I hear people say, you know what, it doesn't feel like it's that big of a system, that gives me a lot of pride because we try to be very intentional about keeping it small. And when you keep that small town feel, I think there's a domino effect. I think kids feel that. When kids come to school and they feel like it's their home away from home, and you've created that culture and climate where they feel safe and they feel respected and they have that sense of purpose, sense of belonging, they are going to thrive. And so I know that will continue, and I certainly hope it does continue.
And that just reiterates how proud I am of our families out there and our involvement here at the T. It's astounding. So finally, plans for retirement.
Well, I'm really bad at a couple things. I'm a really bad golfer and I'm a really bad guitar player, but I really want to work on getting better at both. But I won't spend all of my time doing that. I have a grandson. My grandson was born in December, and I look forward to spending a lot more time with him. But I'm going to do something else. I'm not ready to 100% retire. I'm such an advocate for public education. So I will do something on a part-time basis to try to continue to give back and to provide, as much support as I possibly can to public education in general in our state. So I'm going to stay active in some capacity, but I am definitely going to play a little more golf and practice that guitar a little bit more.
Good.
Yes.
And
love on that grandbaby. That's the most important thing I'm going to do.
That's fantastic. Well, we can't thank you enough for your time today. And I hope all of you have enjoyed the show. This is going to be one of my favorites ever. And we hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you soon, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.